Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why moving on attracts an ex. Okay, so there are a few things that I want to go into of why moving on can actually make an ex more attracted to you and want to come back into your life. Okay, but my first sort of disclaimer here is if an ex has completely moved on from you and they're really happy that the breakup happened, they no longer love you, they no longer miss you, then they'll be happy that you've moved on, right? Because they don't want to be with you, essentially, right? But those exes, right, who some people may have, who are watching this video right now, right? You may have an ex who still has some sort of feeling towards you, right? And if you do these things, then they're going to feel more attracted to you and may even come back into your life, right? But that's if you want them back into your life. Because what you got to remember is when it comes to attracting exes, or trying to attract an ex back, then you have to really feel like you're making the right decision there. Because sometimes it's not a good idea to get back with an ex. In fact, most of the time, it's not a good idea to get back with an ex. I do truly believe in the cliche saying that an ex is an ex for a reason. But if you truly believe that you've lost someone really good, and perhaps the breakup happened because of a misunderstanding and not necessarily red flags or toxic behaviour, then sure, fine. Then try and attract your ex back into your life, okay? But anyway, with that all being said, and that disclaimer there, let's get into some of these things as to why moving on attracts an ex, okay? So one of those things is that it kind of deflates their ego, and they basically, if they've got this persona, or they feel like they are someone who is difficult to get over, and they see that you're moving on with your life and you're no longer chasing them, you're no longer trying to make things work, you're no longer contacting them, begging and pleading and groveling at their feet, basically. The moment you stop doing those things, or perhaps you've never done those things, right, and you went straight into no contact and not giving them any attention whatsoever, then what this does is it defeats their ego. Because if they feel like they're someone who should be hard to get over, they're going to wonder why you're getting over them, essentially, right? And it's going to hurt their ego, because they're going to think, well, hang on a second, how come they didn't beg, they didn't plead? Perhaps they've dumped people before in the past, and the behaviour that was always displayed was their exes would always try and make things work, and they'd apologise, and they'd be chasing them, they would still be in their DMs, but you're not doing that. Then it's going to make them question as to why, right? And it's going to make them feel a bit, well, what happened? Why don't they want me? Why aren't they trying to make things work with me? I thought I was amazing. I thought they really loved me, right? So even if they were the one that did the breaking up, and perhaps they were even happy that they broke up with you, they're still going to feel a little bit like, if you're not chasing after them, right? If you're not wanting to be around them anymore and you're not trying anymore, okay? So that kind of attracts them back, because you're displaying more dominant, more attractive behaviour. Because what has happened is the scales have tipped. They've gone from feeling like a super attractive person who's desired and wanted because you didn't want the breakup to happen, to suddenly where it's switched, where you're the one that's actually moved on, you don't care anymore, or it seems like you don't care, and therefore their attraction has dropped and yours has risen, right? At least to a place where it's 50-50 now. If not, you're more attractive than them, okay? And if you are seen and perceived as more attractive in the dynamic between you two, then they're the one that's going to be attracted back to you, okay, if that makes sense. So, another thing why moving on attracts an ex is that you have this inner emotional strength, because perhaps before you had been messaging them a lot, you've been trying to make things work with them, but now you're not, right? You've stopped doing that, okay? And what this displays is emotional inner strength. You're no longer begging, you're acting strong, you're not giving in to how you're feeling, right? And that is very attractive. Everyone tends to be more attracted to people who have emotional inner strength, right? The ability to not give in to their temptations. So that temptation to message your ex, they don't give in to that, right? The temptation to, let all their feelings out in one long massive wall of text or through a voicemail or something like that. You're not doing those things anymore, or perhaps you never even did, right? And that makes you look more attractive because you have this emotional inner strength. They may know that you didn't want the breakup to happen because perhaps you said that to them when the breakup did happen. But because you have displayed emotional inner strength and you've decided and you've basically accepted that the breakup has happened and you're not trying to do anything, that makes you look insanely attractive. And that may even attract them back into your life and want to be around you, because if they still have feelings for you and still have some attraction towards you, when you start displaying more attractive behaviour, right, that's when they start to become more attracted to you and come back, okay? So another reason why moving on attracts an ex is you're not only moving on, right? Try to get a place where you're not just only moving on from them, but you're actually thriving without them, okay? Because this is another thing that will deflate their ego a bit, and that will make them question if they made the right decision. Because if you're not only just moving on and you're not messaging them anymore, you're not contacting them, but you're actually thriving, like you've gone back to the gym, you're hanging out with your friends, or you're making new friends, you're trying to design a lifestyle for yourself that you're really happy with, you're trying to become a more happy person, you're trying to become like the 2.0 version of yourself, essentially, then they're going to wonder about that. Like, so when they, at late at night when they're stalking your social media profiles, and they see that you're thriving, you're doing really well for yourself, you're actually really happy, you're doing all these different things, perhaps you've been tagged in new photos with other people, with your new lifestyle and things like that, they're going to question that, they're going to wonder about that, they're going to think about that, it's going to play on their mind, right? And they can see that you're having happy, and they can see that you're happy and you're having this amazing life, right? And what that's going to do to them is they're going to get a FOMO, right? They're going to think, oh, well, they're doing all these interesting things. They went on holiday. They went with these friends. They're doing all these kinds of different things. They've run a marathon or whatever it may be, right? Whatever it is that you want to do with your life, and they can see that you're achieving these things. They will, well, I want to join in on that, right? It looks like they're having a great time, right? And I'm not having a great time, so I want to have a great time too. So maybe I should get back with them. Maybe I should message them. Maybe I should see what's going on with them, right? It attracts them back, because you're doing these more attractive things and giving them FOMO, basically, right? So you don't only want to just be moving on from your ex, but you want to be thriving without them. You want to be living a better life. And of course, by then, right, if you really are truly having a better life without your ex, you may not even want them back, and you may even ignore messages that they may send you, right? But like I said, you may never actually hear back from your ex. Your ex may never actually reveal that they regret the breakup or regret any of these things, right? You just may never hear about these things, if they're that kind of person and they just don't have any feelings for you anymore, which is fair enough, right? But someone who still loves you, still cares about you deep down, these things will draw them back to you and will draw out their feelings, okay? So the last thing as to why moving on attracts an ex, which is the most obvious one, the biggest one, okay, is this. Okay, is that they fear losing you. Okay, so if someone still loves you, if someone still cares about you, and she or he has not heard from you in a while, right, and they fear that you're moving on, right, and they think that you're moving on with your life, you're getting on with things, right, they fear that you're never going to message them again, you're never going to call them again, and if they love you and care about you, right, they will have to do something. Okay, they will have to try and make things work with you because they're afraid of losing you. So that's essentially, right, the main reason as to why moving on attracts an ex. It's fear. It's the fear of losing you. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.ChristineLoveridge.com. I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.